So I've had the Ableton Push 3 for about a week now. I have the standalone model. I paid the $2,000 myself. This is not a collaboration with Ableton. In fact, based on my last video, I'm not sure if they will want to collaborate with me, but that's fine too. I like to use the money the channel makes to invest in the channel, so I'm excited to be able to use this. And even though I had my difficulties last week getting all the individual packs set up, because you have to install and download them each one by one, and then it boots you out, and I won't go over that again. But even though I had that difficulty, I am happy to say that since I've had everything installed and updated and good to go, this has really shown itself to be one of the most exciting standalone groove boxes, DAW in a box. I mean, it's really hard to not call this one a DAW in a box since it's literally a DAW, literally in a box. But it does have the benefit of being standalone, and there are ways in which I find it to be extremely compelling. And you'll notice right now it's plugged in. Let's unplug it. It doesn't have to be plugged in. It's part of the point. And yeah, now we can see 100% battery, and we have a new session here. So I thought it would be cool to just make something. Bolo, the producer, who I really enjoy, watched this channel for years, mentioned that very few people have actually made beats with this thing yet, and he was wondering why. For me, I've actually been making a ton of stuff. I just don't actually film most of the times that I make things. Usually that's my personal practice time. Those are very long sessions and they can become, more complex songs. I was gonna make a video just going over what I had made this week, and then I thought it'd be more interesting to actually show the process in real time. I am not an expert with this device. There's still a lot I'm learning. I'm still reading the manual. I had a Push 2, but it was years ago, and I wasn't an expert of that device either. But I do love Ableton. I've used Ableton for years and years. It's been my primary DAW since at least 2015, since my friend Robbie introduced me to the scenes mode, or the session view. Now I really do prefer to build everything in session view, or a session view equivalent, such as Live Loops, or the MPC's sequencer, or the Akai Force. It's how I like to build my songs and then record them into an arranger. So I would say, this isn't going to be a huge analysis video. I am going to make something. But that last little bit about the arranger is important because this doesn't have it. And so, interestingly, this is both one of the most capable and, in some ways, the least capable standalone groove boxes I own, or standalone music making devices. Because, unlike all of those other devices, I am fairly certain I cannot build out and sequence a song and then export the stems on this device. Now, for any other device, that would be the deal breaker of all deal breakers, because all of my devices, I compose and create and then export the stems. But the really important thing to note is where those stems go. They go into the arranger view in Ableton software. And so, despite not having the ability to export the stems into some kind of song or arranger mode, this gets the saving grace of being designed by the company whose DAW I am taking those stems into. What that means is that anything I make on here, I can load up in controller mode and then play into the arranger in real time. And so it gets a little bit of a saving grace there. However, it is one of the points of this device that makes it clear that you really do want to probably own a computer that can run Ableton software if you want the Push standalone, which is somewhat oxymoronical, especially compared to something like the MPCs or even the Machine Plus, where I have definitely made entire tracks on there, exported the stems, and then taken those stems into any other DAW. That's just not really something you're going to do if all you have is the Push by itself. In fact, I think even authorizing the device, I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive I had to load Ableton software to do that too. Which again is something I don't think you have to do with the other ones. You have to use computers sometimes, or the internet, but I don't think you have to use their actual desktop software. So, that's worth noting, and it's something that might change. But, yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way. I'm going to make some music here. Please consider liking and subscribing to help my channel grow. Thank you so much to everyone who's done that already. It means so much. And thank you so much to my Patreon patrons. My tiers are pretty small. It's just $1 and $3 right now. It could change in the future, but the big thing is really just helping me finance things like this and just, keep the channel going and growing. So thank you so much to everybody, and let's make some songs, make a beat, make some music. All right. So first things first, we already have a MIDI track, so I'm actually going to go into the swap mode here. That's this button. And I'm going to go to Sounds. Actually, yeah, let's start with Sounds. And I'm actually going to play with some MPE sounds, because MPE has turned out to be one of the most exciting things about this device. You'll notice I accidentally hit back on the jog wheel. That put me back out here. That doesn't happen with this D-pad. And let's turn preview on. Okay, so this is MPE Intimate, Slide, and Pressure. Compared to some other devices, the load times for both turning on the device, loading up a song you've already created, loading up a new instrument rack or track, these can take longer than some other standalone devices. There are absolutely cons to this device, but I will say, as an extremely biased user of Ableton for nearly a decade, honestly on and off more than a decade, this is still forming up to be one of my favorite devices ever made, despite that. So we talked about this in my last video, but MPE is I believe stands for multi-polyphonic expression, and I saw someone comment, like, everyone is excited because it can do what you could already do with aftertouch on a keyboard and a mod wheel and pitch bend. It's just funny, like, one, almost every keyboard that doesn't have polyphonic aftertouch is not the same thing. This note has its own aftertouch and its own pitch. And it takes some practice to actually take advantage of that, because I don't think everyone is used to even having that as an option. But I would just say people who are talking smack on MPE should really try it, because it's pretty cool. And I was kind of in the same boat. I was like, what's the point of this? And then I used it, and I was like, that's the point of this. Okay, cool. All right, let's go A for our scale. A major. That's all right. Okay, that's cool though, right? That was all in key, all in that scale. Yeah, let's set a tempo here. Boom, 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 boom. Something I really love about the Ableton Push is if I use this tempo adjuster knob after I've set a tempo, it goes immediately into full number values with no decimal points. It basically infers what I want, which is I want to get close to the right tempo, and then I want to use this to dial it in. And turn our metronome on. I think if I hold this, I can control the sound. I don't know if I control the volume. That's tempo. Headphone output. Q volume. Is it Q volume? No, Q is like the separate out. I actually don't know how to change the volume of the metronome. I hadn't thought about it. Put that in the comments if you know. Alright. I have counts in set. Whoops. Delete. Yeah, that's where I want. Alright, let's mess with our next track. I want a bass, I think. I will say something I kind of miss from, recently using Logic on iPad or something like the Machine, is some kind of categorization of these sounds. Like, this is just every bass sound I have, and then I can go to the individual packs they might be from, or I can go to the individual instruments they might be from. But I don't think you can kind of get granular with pre-created like type sorting, like chill, aggressive, that sort of thing. And that's fine. It just means I have a really long list of alphabetical basses here in this folder. Oh no. We'll use the D-pad again. I like the wheel, it's just easy to accidentally go out of where you were. turned off the metronome. I'm going to want that back for this. Okay, cool. I entered an incorrect note. Now, sometimes this editor doesn't work for me at all, but here we go. This is working. This is great. So, I hit the wrong pitch here. We can see pitch here and... Geez, you know what? The screen looks a little dark. Let me get that display light up. Sorry about that. Hopefully it wasn't unreadable, but who knows. Okay, so going back to the clip here and going back to select the pitch. Let's see what it actually played here. That's what we want, so pitch up 1. Yeah, it's pretty good. See if we can change that attack. I don't love... Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think that's better. It's a little low key, but it's okay. Alright, this is really simple so far. Let's go back out, add a new track, new MIDI track, and we're going to get some drums going. A lot of drum packs here. I don't have any of my own samples on here yet, so this is all just the stuff that's in Ableton Suite right now.
The sound.
Oh yeah. Hold quantize, lower the quantize amount to 87, and then quantize. Alright, don't need a metronome now. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to duplicate it, play that duplicate. Okay, so now I've created a duplicate version of this drum layer that has a couple more hits. Let's add a new track. And let's go to some packs. Let's get one of the voice box has some cool stuff. Oh, actually, no, let's try the upright piano. I'm guessing this is pretty heavy on the CPU and stuff. I love this piano actually, but I think it's more suited to lo-fi. Let's go to grand piano instead. Gotta stop using the wheel. This is the faster way. Alright, we want sounds. Let's do grand piano hybrid. I was wrong. Let's do grand piano production. Like this one. And I really love the pianos and the strings on this thing. Yeah, and this is not going to play an MPE because a piano is not going to sound like that. Oh, I also highly recommend learning how to play this type of layout. So you just want to work in 3 notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Once you learn that, it's very easy to sound like you're an amazing pianist. All right, we have that. Now I want to get funky with it. Excuse me. So let's add a new device. Let's go to audio effects. And let's do hybrid reverb. The new-ish. It's not really new anymore, but better than the old reverb. And we're going to do hall, and we're going to do cathedral huge. Oh my gosh. Lower that. Are we peaking? Or is it? Yeah, we are. Lower that. Okay. I actually don't like this reverb for this, actually. I was wrong. Whoops. Okay, so what we just did here is we hit the swap button instead, and now we're looking at the same plugin, and we're just looking at different presets for that plugin. Pretty smart design. Again, we're 100% on the wet dry. It's better. Click in the hybrid reverb. I should be able to see a few things. I want to see the algorithm. What I'm looking for is pre-delay, and I can't remember. There it is. It's in global, and actually I like that pre-delay. So we're good. Okay. Alright. Turn up the release volume. That's it. It seems a little quiet now. Last note was really high velocity. I'm gonna lower that a little. And it still sounds too clean. So I want to see how I can mess with this thing. Get another device, get an audio effect. I could get like a saturator overdrive, maybe. Yeah, let's try an overdrive. Okay. I don't know if I actually like what that did, but we're gonna leave it. We're working fast, baby. And we need some kind of delay. Actually, let's use the echo. Ambient spaces. Nah, we'll just use default echo and build it. If anyone in the comments knows, I don't know how to see the actual decibel level we're hitting on this device. That might not be possible, but if it is, please let me know. That was one of my primary feedbacks that I didn't like about GarageBand on iPad, and that I like about Logic and most other devices, I believe, is that you can actually see what the decibel level per track is. Right now I can see what it's set to, but but I don't know what it's outputting, if that makes sense, like what its peak dB is. All right, cool. So this is what we have so far. Piano sucks, actually. It's too weak right now. I just need to throw a filter on this after the overdrive. Alright, I might be wrong about overdrive. Okay. It's not the most impressive thing I've ever made, to be honest, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing the process. This thing really is sick, though. It can really do a lot. I don't think I did it super justice. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you one other thing I've made with it before we end this video, just so you can kind of see where my head's at with this device. Alright, I will be back with the magic of science. Oh, actually, if I hit save, it'll give it an auto name, and I really like that. Okay, that camera's going to die. 1 second. Okay, we're loading Terrarium of Luxury. This is a thing I've been working on the last few days, and I really like this one. Hopefully you can see there's a huge sonic palette here. There's so much that can be done. Again, I don't work with Ableton in any capacity, and they're the only ones who sell this device, so I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that either. I just think it's cool. I'm excited about it, and I'm going to keep working with it. Hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you soon. Bye.